What's up, everybody? It's your girl Kiwan, and I am back with Ready to Love, Season 10, Episode 11, Convict Curveball. Before I start, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell button so you can be updated on every video I drop. Make sure y'all like the videos so I can stay in the algorithm. Man, shout out to all of y'all who have joined, subscribe to my channel, y'all. I really hope y'all like my content. I'm actually gonna repost everything that I'm gonna be doing in September and October when everything comes out. So yeah. Also, and that's gonna be on a community wall. All right. Tomorrow's Saturday. Like when y'all see me, I have the date on my watch. So tomorrow is I do Love and Marriage Huntsville and Heart and Hustle Houston on Saturdays. But tomorrow I have something to do, so I'm hoping I'm back in time so I can do those two videos and then just go ahead and rest on my Sunday and Mondays until that's filled up. All right. So yes, I want to say shout out to y'all because y'all really have been like doing the doggone thing with the what was that we watched? What was that we had yesterday? All the Queen's Men. Like everybody tapping in, everybody, watching. Just I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate anything I get. Like I am literally, I want to say 12 away from 500, and then we gonna go from 500 to 1,000. So that's the goal. Like I said, I know it can be done. So we just gonna keep the ball rolling. I really appreciate y'all. Let me know. Always let me know what y'all think about content. I like feedback. I try to get back with y'all as fast as I can, but sometimes I can't because I be asleep or I be at work. But yeah, like I definitely appreciate everybody, and thank you for everything. The commenting, the like, it make me feel it allows me to feel like y'all are really interested in like little old me. Okay. And if y'all don't know, for everybody who's new, I usually don't edit my videos, so what we get is what we get. I just like to be my authentic self. And yeah. And also I wanted to let y'all know, like I was trying to figure out a day like I can go live on one of these videos, but because everything is coming out, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gonna go live with. I only went live twice, and I mean on my channel. I went live twice on my channel with an episode of Ready to Love, I believe, which was impromptu, and also Love and Marriage Huntsville, which I think also, no, it wasn't impromptu, but yes, but also just check the community wall in these next couple, this weekend, and you'll see everything I'm gonna be doing, things that are coming out that'll be up for review. So yeah, we gonna be reviewing so and so the rest of this month and October. And I will keep y'all posted about tomorrow about Love and Marriage Huntsville. But fret not if I'm not able to do it and I'm not back in time tomorrow. I'll definitely drop it to y'all on Sunday. But I actually want to be able to do it tomorrow night, so I don't have to do anything Sunday and Monday but rest. All right. Anyway, Ready to Love, y'all, because this episode was crazy. I don't like how they kind of, threw a real life curveball at Rose for a situation that she couldn't control. I don't know. I have my opinion. But I really want to point out how the lady sent Callie home, and I felt like Callie was the best catch. I feel like low key, they kind of fumble with Callie. I wouldn't be mad if outside of that, Rose and Callie like really get to know each other and make something shake. But I don't know if they had anything in common. I'm not sure. I forgot because y'all know we Ready to Love had went on that pause. So I wouldn't be mad at it. Anyway, y'all, we start at the men's vault. Jay said that him and Kiara got to the bottom of their situation, and I was like, but did y'all though? But okay, all right. The assignment for the men was to introduce the ladies to their family. All right. So we start with Kiara. She met with Jay's mom, dad, aunt, and cousins, whom I feel like were really nice people. But I still have my opinion on one part. His parents, he said, been married for 25 years, and he said that's the example of love that he was displayed. So, okay. Hey, it is what it is. And Kiara said she hasn't met anyone's family in years. All right. So they asked Kiara like tons of questions, and she answering it, as honest as she did. And they talk about the situation that happened at the getaway with him having Sahara's leg on him and how he was rubbing her neck and how that made Kiara feel. She said she was mad about that. So they was like, well, did y'all talk about it? How did everything go down? She was like, well, what did Jay tell y'all? And I can tell y'all whether or not he's disclosed everything or he chose not to, if he omitted some things. Okay. So she told her side of the story, and the mom was like, well, did y'all talk? What happened after that? So Kiara told the aunt? Well, she told everybody that, she shut down, because y'all remember when Jay came in that room and he was trying to talk to her, she was talking to the pillow. She didn't want no parts of Jay. Okay, she had her face that way talking to the pillow, and that was just her way of shutting down. And Jay's mom basically told her, listen, the worst thing you can do in a relationship is not communicate. And I get that. I really, really get that. There are some people who don't know how to communicate. So when they don't communicate, they go silent. There are people like me who, when I say there's a situation at hand and I say, hey, I needed a minute to process this. I really do. I will come at you like, hey, I need a minute to process this. And my minute ain't 60 seconds. I just need a minute to process. And then I'll come back and have a conversation with you. Like, I'm a table it person. We got to table this. Because right now, and especially if it's something that's heated, we definitely going to have to table it. Because I was a person who went from 0 to 100. Okay? Like, delivery used to be bad. Okay? So, with that being said, I get what she was saying. But there are some people who don't have the tools of communication. And so that is their only means of communication, which is unfortunate. And then there are people who do have the tools, but really have to process it. And then you have other people who want to talk through an argument. And it's a heated argument. And they want to get through it and get to it. And it's like, no, you really have to let cooler heads prevail. And she just wasn't in a space to talk. And I felt like if they made an agreement for Jay to be on his best behavior, then I felt like her frustrations was valid. But at the same time, this is still a dating show. And I did say that in my last review. Like, this is a dating show. So it is what it is. Anyway, his mom says, like, everybody likes Kiara. But his mom was like, the only issue, the only flaw she had was shutting down. And I'm like, so we just not going to talk about the fact that your son is a little flirty. And he also feel like, he can be handsy with all his female friends that we very well skated over and didn't feel like, well, not didn't feel like, but we skated over it because it wasn't up for discussion. Okay. My other opinion, I'm gonna just keep it to myself. So we gonna keep this ball rolling. Rose and Hussein, she met his brother George and his cousin Gerald. All right. So the fact that the cousin and the brother said that Hussein wanted to be married, for me, was music to Rose ears, because y'all already know. But I'm telling y'all, I got Rose back on this episode. Like, y'all not about to play in that lady face like that. Anyway, they asked Rose, what's the relationship between her and her son's father. She let them know that their relationship is non-existent, but my son does talk to his father, but not often, because his father is incarcerated, right? So now Hussein felt like this was such a huge curveball because Rose decided to just neglect to tell him this information, and now all of a sudden she just cannot be trusted. The way I rolled my eyes, I rolled my eyes so hard they almost got stuck. So I'm looking at Hussein like, Hussein, please, you gonna sit here and act like you have disclosed things to this lady that you felt that probably is important for her to know, but you gonna sit here and act like she just dropped a total bomb on you, and now you just went into full victim mode. That's what we doing. That pissed me off because nobody asked her, unless production didn't show it. None of those gentlemen went to Rose and said, what is the relationship between, we know you have a kid, does he have a relationship with his dad, and if so, do you have a relationship? How is the co-parenting? Nobody asked her that. And I don't feel like she needed to disclose that, because we really don't know each other like that. Okay, we getting to know each other. And if I want to disclose that to you, I will. Anyway, I just need them to understand, maybe the why she's disconnected to that man like that. And the way she was explaining it to the cousins, it wasn't her. She was very uncomfortable because her tone was different, and I don't know, she just looked like she wasn't comfortable with talking about that on camera. So for me, I immediately was like, yeah, this is a sore subject for her because some things may have happened. Again, I don't know her, but that is what I saw when I was viewing it. So it was just like a downer after she said that, and I didn't like that. I didn't like how they used that, and they just made it seem like she was the bad guy. Like that. Y'all, that irritated me so bad. Anyway, Angie joins the party, right? Angie tells them she have a son. She possibly wants to have kids, but she's 40 years old. She said that her and her son's dad, they co-parent really well. Rose, she was like, okay, I had to go. She left, and she hugs the guys, and then she leaves. It turns out that brother and cousin actually like Angie over Rose. And I was like, okay, Angie is fun. Okay, she's fun, and that's fine. So we get to Cisco, his sister, and Tay, right? First of all, I didn't know Cisco was bilingual. And second, y'all gonna put some respect on Cisco's name, because I saw him in that Rise commercial. That's why I saw Cisco. And I was like, I saw him on a commercial. Y'all, Cisco is on a Rise commercial. Okay? I told Cisco when I watched when he gave Tay that massage, I was like, listen, go sign up to that massage school if you want to get your career and whatnots in order. Go ahead, go around there, sign up to that massage school. The women like you. They seem to be taken to a man of your body stature. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So, Tay, who child? Tay said she want to have kids and get married. Okay, Tay. I've said all I needed to say throughout the duration of these reviews. Okay. So Cisco said he was disappointed because Tay seemed apprehensive about his stability. And when he said that, when he pointed that out and Tay talked about his stability, the stability issue, the way that sister looked, she was like, you better take my brother for who he is. No ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am. So Cisco said he thought that they were past it, and that in an ideal world, it would be nice not to prove anything to the person you are trying to build with. I do not understand why you would think that. He said, as far as his dreams and aspirations, he tried to keep a positive outlook, but when Tay have concerns, he become solution driven, as you should. But are you solution driven with some type of, remorse? Or, I'm sorry, not using the wrong word, I'm spacing. When you're solution driven, does it come with some type of aggravation on the end towards Tay because she feels a way about your situation? Which I still stand on this. As far as being on this show, finding love, I get that, and I'm not taking that away from him. But I feel like the more important things need to be taken care of, like, maybe your housing situation, your car situation. Like a car come, it'll come, but mainly your living situation, your career. All of those things need to be in place before before obtaining a relationship. But that's just my personal opinion, and everybody may not feel like that. All right. So the sister tells Tay that those are minor concerns, and they could be addressed. They could be fixed, and if they're addressed, they could be fixed. And I'm like, the only person that can fix this situation is him. And if there is an issue, if Tay is having an issue with this, I still don't know why Tay is still wanting to pursue something with him. But she said, this was what she said. Her drawback was the fact that Cisco was kind and a caring man, and he is gentle. And I can see that. I can see that with Cisco. And what made me really see that was when he was able to protect Rose in that men's vault. And I wasn't mad at that. And in that moment, I have full respect for Cisco when it comes to protecting women. And I hope that that's who his character always is. But that made me see him in a different light as well. So the sister decided to tell Tay, I like you, and tell Tay don't worry about the little bumps in the road, but learn how to communicate and get through. First of all, when you don't have a job or maybe a place to stay, that is not a little bump in the road. That is a whole situation that needs to be taken care of ASAP. All right? I know everybody have their moments, and I get that. And yeah, but that's not a little bump in the road. All right? That's not like a little disagreement. This is a whole situation. And if I come in my situation with this man, I don't want to have to be responsible for something he's not taking care of. I just don't. And y'all know Tay is a nurse. So, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. So then the sister says, hopefully there will be a wedding invite. I was like, child. So anyway, when I had concerns, when he said that, whenever she had reservations about his situation, he then becomes solution driven. And I'm just like, okay, Cisco, yeah, that's what you need. That is what you're supposed to be doing. Because you need to figure out not just solutions, but you need to be doing whatever you're supposed to do. And I feel like also that they are pressing Tay to kind of accept the bare minimum when it comes to Cisco. And I don't like that. I don't like it. And it wasn't just a sister. In some ways Cisco, but it was his frat brothers when, you know, she met the friends or whatever. It was the frat brothers, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that. And again, I'm only watching just a little bit of clip of it, but from the little bitty clip, that is what I gather. All right. So Cam, Sahara, Rose, and Angie, they meet his cousin and his niece. So at this point, Sahara just ain't really feeling being with these ladies again. Okay, she tired of being the three amigos. She just wanted to be her and Cam. I get that. And I just want to point out how all of these ladies are sitting here trying to sell themselves. That's all. That is it. That is all. So Cam, we find out Cam is stubborn, which never mind. And we need to figure, and my question, okay, this was my other question. I'm sorry, I had to take a pause and see where I was at. So Cam is stubborn, and so they're asking the ladies basically, how do they navigate with him being stubborn? My question is, why do they have to navigate around his stubbornness, and why not him compromise? Like, I feel like if I'm in a relationship with you, I don't want to always have to navigate because you're stubborn. That's not okay. I don't want to have to navigate around stubbornness. I want to be able to come into a relationship where we both are compromising, where we both are coming together and fixing said situations, or, you know, coming up with solutions. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, Sahara, basically, she's tired of the games. I feel like Sahara is kind of being strung along, just in my opinion, and that's what I thought at first. And I will admit I was wrong. Okay, so when you look at it from the getaway, even when Cam have the two extra connections, you could clearly see that it felt like he was stringing Sahara along at some point. So the girls are feeling Angie and Rose. They say Angie is their top and Rose is their bottom, but they like the both of them. They are not feeling Sahara because they think she's toxic. They didn't say the word toxic. What they said was she reminds them of his exes. And somebody did say that it was either him or one of them, that the situation with his exes were very toxic. So I am going to translate that into, y'all think Sahara is toxic. I don't think she's toxic. I think that she's misunderstood. The one person y'all have at y'all top, that got some toxicity in it. Anyway, that I don't know, y'all. So Cam meet up with Sahara, and he take her out on a date to see if it's worth it. And as I say that, I think Sahara is misunderstood. He gets her a gift of essential oils, and he listens to Sahara. Like when she talks, he listens. And I honestly think Cam genuinely liked Sahara. When he went on the date with her, it was how he looked at her, how he touched her, how it wasn't just that. It was things leading up to this. But then there were moments where I felt like he was stringing her along. But this made me feel like, yes, he really likes Sahara. Even though the family may not agree with Sahara being his choice, but at the end of the day, Cam has to be the one to make that choice. He liked Sahara. So Hussein and Rose meet up. Hussein felt like Rose should have said something about the situation of her son's father being incarcerated. He was like, well, why didn't you do like Kiara did? Rose said she didn't say it to the women. She didn't tell us this directly. I heard this through the grapevine. So because she heard it through the grapevine, it wasn't for her to be like, oh yeah, y'all, let me tell y'all, remember that time, because I heard somebody told me Kiara told y'all about her baby daddy being in jail. And even when they told her about that, a lot of the men pulled back from Kiara when she told them about her son's father being incarcerated. They pulled back from her. And I'm not saying that is not what Rose did. Rose did not disclose that information because of whatever went down. However that relationship went down, that lady don't want to talk about it. She don't want to think about it. So Hussein felt like she should have said something when he met up with the ex, when they did the meet the ex. Rose said her own ex didn't even know about the situation with her son's father. And I don't feel like she needs to confess something that had nothing to do. I don't know why he went to jail. And nobody knows. Nobody knows but Rose and whoever in her core circle. Okay? I need to point, let me point this other thing out. When Rose was in her confessional with that curly hair, absolutely beautiful. Hands down, absolutely beautiful. Loved it. I just wanted to say that. All right. So Rose says that, she felt like Hussein was coming at her with the intent of catching her in a lie versus waiting to get to know her story, because he wants to allow her the chance to explain. Now I wonder if she meant to say he didn't allow her to have a chance to explain. So Rose said her feelings was hurt, and Hussein said the main thing, I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, so Rose said her feelings was hurt, right? And he said the main thing about the situation was that my family sitting down looking at me like I'm some type of sucker or something, like I needed to know that. No, you didn't need to know. You didn't need to know that. You didn't need to know that because you don't know the story nor the history behind it. And coupled with the fact that Rose said y'all just really started a connection. She don't know you like that. And I think that's crazy that you want that type of information from this woman. She don't know y'all like that. So Hussein, for me, I feel like he needed an excuse to eliminate Rose. And you can visibly tell that there was something traumatic going on with that entire situation. And I just feel like she don't have to share with y'all just yet because y'all don't know each other like that. Rose was extremely uncomfortable talking about that on camera when she was sitting with his family. I think Rose is well within her rights not to disclose that information, especially if that information or that situation is extremely triggering to her and it had no bearings on Hussein nor Cam. So Hussein asked if the man decide he want to get if her baby daddy get out of jail and he decides he want to come and get Rose and get with Rose, what would she do? That lady was like, no. That aggravated me. Why would you ask her that? Everybody not checking for their baby daddy like that. When it's over, it's over. Most people not checking for that, especially if the situation was bad. Nobody's really checking for that. So Rose was like, nah, I'm good over here. And she did say that their relationship had her at her lowest. I think she said she was at rock bottom when it came to that relationship. So why would you think she wants to revisit that why would she want to revisit said relationship? There are people out there that go back to their familiar, but there are people who will leave a situation and move on and don't look back. Kudos to y'all. Okay? So he said they started out on a lie almost, and that this was a game changer. When I tell y'all Hussein was so exhausting for me, and then Cam became he became even more exhausting to me. So we get to the men's vote. Jay explains, how his family took to Kiara. Cisco explained how his sister took to Tay, but still had mixed emotions or reservations about his situation, which is understandable. Cam said that, the women liked Rose and especially Angie, but they didn't really see it for Sahara. And they say Sahara reminded them of his exes. So Hussein puts Rose's situation out there, even though she put it on camera. He brought it into the men's vote. And now Cam, to me, they both are fake shocked, acting like, oh my God, this is just the end of the world. We gonna take this little thing and we just gonna make it this big. When I tell y'all they took that situation and put 20 on 10, they took that situation and put 20 on 10. All right. So they're shocked because Rose just didn't disclose that information. So Cisco tells them that Rose, he didn't like how Rose was being painted. He felt like Rose wasn't being painted in a good light. And Hussein said it was a deal breaker for him. So he gonna go ahead and go with Angie. Yeah, because you're trying to stay in the, you know what? I'm gonna keep my opinion to myself. The fact that they are using this information to make Rose the bad person is insane to me. Y'all do not know if this lady was in some type of abusive situation. Like, y'all don't know if this lady life was in there. Like, y'all don't know the ins and out of this situation. All y'all know is her baby daddy was in jail and she didn't disclose that information to y'all. I just didn't think that was okay. So Cam want to know if Rose is still interested in him. Rose is still interested in you. This was y'all trying to get rid of Rose, so y'all decided to get together. You and Cam, that's how it makes me feel. Y'all decided to get together, have a sidebar, and all right, since Rose didn't tell us this, we gonna go ahead and eliminate Rose. You act surprised when I tell you the situation. That's how I felt. That's how that felt to me. Like you act surprised. I'm gonna take Angie, and since you and Sahara got a thing, you take Sahara, and because this the last episode. We at the end, and we got to eliminate somebody, and we both can't go home because it's no going home at this point, right? So Rose didn't feel like that information needed to be disclosed, and I totally agree. Rose said she would not apologize about the situation, and if they can't see her loyalty, then that's on them, and I agree. She also tells Cam, you talking about I'm withholding information, but you did the same thing because I didn't know you shared a room with Sahara. Cam said that isn't the same thing. It is. It is. You didn't tell her that. You acted like you was just in a room by yourself and you wanted to be in a room by yourself. You did. And so he asked Rose, well, why would you care who I'm sharing a room with if you shared a room with Hussein? Sir, we not going to sit here and act like Rose ain't tell you she was sharing a room with Hussein. She was up front with you on that. And you told her when she brought you them shirts, because I felt like she shouldn't have got you no damn shirts. I stand on that. But she got you them shirts. And you was like, I'm going to be in this room by myself. You said that. You didn't say exactly. I don't know if you said that verbatim, but you did say you just going to be in this room. Like, you made it seem like you didn't want nobody else rooming with you. That's all I'm saying. And the fact that you're questioning her about her caring or not if you had somebody in the room. She said, and Rose's response was, it's because I still have a connection with you. So at this point, I am over Cam. He felt like he had the audacity to feel like he was being punished by Rose. And I was like, this elimination to me is BS. But whatever. Whatever. So Rose said the fact that they used that situation and forgot everything else about them. That's what she told Cam. That says a lot about y'all. And I agree. So Rose is in her confessional crying. I knew she was going to cry. I knew she was going to cry. She said she hurt, but she will bounce back. And y'all, that's where the episode ended. Yeah, that was a lot for me. Because that, I ain't like it. I ain't like it. Next week is the last episode. The ladies are gonna have to introduce them to their families, and then we'll figure out who, you know, who gonna go home or who gonna be together or not. Now, I don't know much. I know the reunion is coming up, so I don't know if this gonna be a one-parter or a two, but it may be a two. So let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think about this Rose situation, y'all. I stand on what I said. I feel like that was wrong. I feel like that was calculated. But you do what you have to do, because at the end of the day, this is a show, and you do have to select somebody. But to do this was a lot for me, and I just don't feel like that was okay. So anyway, as I stated, tomorrow I will try to give y'all Love and Marriage Huntsville. Hopefully, and I'm more than sure. I'm sure I'll be back. But if I'm not, and y'all don't see it tomorrow, y'all will see it Sunday. I just don't know what time, but y'all will see it on Sunday. All right. Until then, I will see y'all mostly tomorrow, but if not, I will see y'all on Sunday for Love and Marriage Huntsville and Heart and Hustle Houston. All right.